Well, I think that is the big question tonight. How far is this going to go before it either gets totally out of hand or the other way where things become more calm? The big problem here, Mark, is that I think on the side of the Serbians, they feel discriminated against. All of this blew up because there was a move to take away car registration numbers with Serbian number plates on and replace them with Kosovo plates for all those living in northern Kosovo, and a refusal to let the districts be considered as Serbian districts. That meant that the mayors in that area of northern Kosovo walked out, provoking early elections. They then decided to boycott the elections, saying that discussions were needed to try to resolve the situation. Those elections went ahead. And of course, because there were no participants on the Serbian side, or very few, they were Albanian mayors who were elected, who account for the vast majority of the population in Kosovo. So that is where this standoff originally comes from. And tonight what we're faced with is, well, two leaders who don't get on, who are face-to-face but don't agree. We've had a statement from the Prime Minister, Albin Kurti, saying that he is not going to give in to demands to remove Kosovo police from the area, which is what the Serbians have been asking for, saying that there's a threat that there's going to be more violence, and I will not do that. So there doesn't appear to be any much of a breakthrough. What we're, I think, going to see tomorrow is an effort and pressure from both the French and the Germans and from NATO and from others who may take part in these discussions taking place in Moldova on both of these leaders, if they are present at the talks, to respect an agreement that they've already signed to normalise relations between the two countries. And I think that is the next step in this, to make both sides agree that they have to move forward together to calm the situation and to work out some kind of short-term solution so that this doesn't get even more out of hand.
There are wider international ramifications on this story between the countries that recognise Kosovo's independence and those that don't.
That is another issue, and the big two who don't recognise the independence of Kosovo are China and Russia. So we have a standoff here between the United States, many members of the European Union who recognise Kosovo's independence, and the Russians who don't, right in the middle of the Ukraine war, which has added another layer onto the stress, I think, being felt in many European capitals tonight, that this could all spiral out of control. And we've seen a wider, greater context of Russia against the European Union, as it is Russia against Ukraine, and the European Union supplying Ukraine with weapons. That is why it's even more important that there is a solution to this problem as quickly as possible. No European leader wants to see a second outbreak of conflict on the European continent. We already have the war in Ukraine. We don't want a war between Serbia and Kosovo, or increased clashes between those two nations at a time when many Europeans are gearing up, ready for this long-term, still to come, Ukrainian counter-offensive and supplying weapons to the Ukrainians. They certainly don't want to have to deal with increased conflict going on between Kosovo and Serbia.
Philip, thank you very much indeed.